Captain on the bridge.
Alrighty, Captains, we are back on the bridge, and today what I wanted to go over was some concept art from Strange New Worlds. And just going over Twitter and the internets, I found these pictures, and I kind of wanted to discuss also and kind of put out there what I want to come into Star Trek Online. So what we'll do, go over the images, drop my 2 ECs, and then of course our conclusions of what I want to see in Star Trek Online. Here we go, on screen. Captains, you already know I said this before in one of the trailers, the initial trailer that they released for Strange New Worlds, is I love that shuttle. That little shuttle, which I dub SHITTLES in Star Trek Online. I think what they did here was really give it a good uplift, like a face uplift, like a good really redo, reimagining of the original shuttles. Now, I've said this before, and I know I'm going to get flack for this. I am not the hugest TOS fan, but I respect it, obviously, because of what it's brought into our lives, that is Star Trek. So here it's just a concept art of how big it is in comparison to humans there, and this almost looks like the scale of what is in Star Trek Online. There's one of the first missions that you have in Vulcan where you take a shuttle down, and I would love a reskin of that mission to have this as your shuttle. That's right, that's what we're calling it, a shuttle. Again, it's just such a simple redo, reimagine of it still being sort of boxy, but that angular, and I love it. I really do. And in one of the trailers, we did see on the inside, and I believe that was La'an and Spock, just to show the inside of the shuttle here, and I want this in game. I know shuttles are not popular in Star Trek Online, and I think the devs have kind of confirmed, well, no one kind of liked that content, but I mean, we had like no-win scenarios in Star Trek Online, which is like a 20-man shuttle to literally try to obliterate Borgs or whatever waves of enemies, and it was really fun. And I would love to see some form of that content come back for Shittles, because we used to have like Shittle weekends, and those are really fun. I know there's like 2-3 missions, maybe not even that, for Star Trek Online, but I think it would be really cool, especially this, because this is not the first time we've seen it, and for them to release this stuff, this concept art of the shuttle, we're probably going to see a lot more of this, and I'm for it. I really do like the look of this. If Eagle Moss if Eagle Moss, let's not let's not kid ourselves. They're definitely going to be releasing a lot of this. I'm probably going to get it. I really do like it, and the nacelles look very similar, of course, to the Enterprises, and yeah, I'm all for it. The other picture here that I want to go over was this. Now, we did see this scene in one of the trailers there, showing that there was a Constitution crashed on an alien planet. Again, here we have 2 shuttles here kind of flying in, and this is just concept art, but I really do love the feel of this picture here that they're giving us, and that seems to me that could be a set piece in Star Trek Online. I'd love to see a mission like, now we have in Agents of Yesterday a mission of when you start down to the planet, an actual Constitution that has crashed. I would love for them to reskin it for a Strange New Worlds revamp. Just saying, throwing out there, dropping the 2 ECs, I would love to see sort of that Disco Prize, well, it's not the Enterprise, but the Constitution, kind of like that, and then maybe us going into it. I know in that mission, that particular mission, we go to the shuttle bay, but I'd love to explore it even more. Could you imagine if it was actually everything was tilted like that mission, like that, where you go into the bridge and then explore it, and then maybe possibly sell us the bridge? Just saying. You're leaving Zen on the table, Cryptic. I would love to buy the bridge for Strange New Worlds, even though I have said it is a small community haul. Regardless, this looks beautiful. To me, it looks very alien. It actually, you know what it reminds me of? Superman. That one scene where Lex Luthor built this whole kryptonite island. That's kind of the vibes I'm getting. But again, love the two little shittles there. Love the look of the Constitution that's crashed there. We're probably gonna find out in one of the episodes what that is, and I cannot wait. I really cannot wait. Next up, again, we've seen this. I believe it was actually in the last trailer that we covered, and I do have something coming up for a build on the Disco Prize in Star Trek Online. So captains, look out for that. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you know when that's going to come out. But I'm taking inspiration from that one scene from this little encounter that we saw. So again, this is just concept art, but this is what we saw when the Enterprise was doing like a little loop-de-loop, or what we call in Star Trek Online like a rock and roll, and it was being shot at. That's way too big for me. I don't know what species that is. Captains, if you know, comment below. I really don't know what alien race that is or what reimagined alien race that is. But again, the scale. I love the scale. Sometimes I don't think it needs to be that big in comparison to the hero ship, but again, it is what it is. They're going to reimagine certain things. They're going to upsize everything like they did with the Disco Prize, because we know it's not a one-to-one reimagining. And again, there's those swept pylons on the little itty bitty Enterprise. I really do wish they would have stuck with the straight pylons as opposed to the swept back. It works, but again, throughout however many seasons we get, I wonder how they're going to explain that away when we go back to the TOS era, right? Because the TOS era has what? Straight pylons. And it's smaller. I have not heard, I have not read anything saying about this is a retcon, this is the new size of the Enterprise, live with it, deal with it. Captains, if you have, let me know in the comments below. Like I said, I'm not the most knowledgeable of Star Trek nerds out there. My nerd cred is pretty bad, but doesn't take away the love and passion I do have for Star Trek. Would I want to see this ship in Star Trek Online? Maybe as a TFO boss fight, but not as a playable ship, because that's just ridiculous. And if I'm going to be honest, it's pretty ugly. It looks like almost like a Herodian mothership, and the Herodians have kind of that one ship that looks like that actually. But again, concept art, it looks good. Would I want to see this in Star Trek Online, which we already do have the Disco Prize Online, Captain, especially if you're just watching this. I mostly cover Star Trek Online content, but am starting to cover things that I'd like to see from Star Trek to go into Star Trek Online, because, well, we had Star Trek Online ships go into Star Trek Picard. So this is where I'm going to expand my love for Star Trek whilst doing these, especially when I have two ECs to draw. So again, what I like to see this ship, that enemy alien ship in Star Trek Online, maybe just as a final boss TFO. And if I can maybe think of a way, think of the Undine Planet Assault, where there's 3 lanes going to that, and then the last enemy is like a planet killer type boss, that this is just facing you at the front, just like that, where the players would take it down. So that's one way. And the last thing that I wanted to kind of cover here was this. I saw this, I fell in love with this shot. This is one of the, now, to me, this feels like it's on Earth, but again, you have a beautiful picture there of the Enterprise in the background. And the reason why I wanted to show this was their costumes, their outfits. I'd love to see this in Star Trek Online. Especially, for some reason, number ones in Uhura's little dress there, I absolutely love on them. And Would love to see that in Star Trek Online for my female captains. Of course, you have the Nurse Chapel there with her outfits, La'an, Ortegas, Hemmer, of course, Dr. Mabenga and Spock, Pike with their it's all the same uniform, I believe. It looks really solid, but the shoulders, they showed some pictures of those being had like little stitching in them, and I love it. I'd like to see that in Star Trek Online. Again, we already do have the Enterprise online there, and you can actually get that ship as an event reward for the year-long one. So it's very obtainable to get that ship. It's going to take a year to do so, but you know what? I'm going to say it outright. That's the first ship I owned, and it's a great ship. It's really a great ship. Like I said, we have a build coming up for that, to look at that for captains. But again, I just wanted to drop my 2 ECs. I absolutely love what I'm seeing so far in Star Trek Online, in Strange New Worlds, that I would love to see in Star Trek Online. And costumes, the Shittles, I'm all for it. Maybe that alien ship as a boss fight, but there are captains. Thought I'd just drop my 2 ECs quickly there. I'm loving all the Trek that we have, and expect a couple more of these type of videos where I would just have more opinion / 2 EC drops, because whenever I have a need to share my nerdism, this is a great way to do it, which is here on the YouTube bridge. So captains, like the video, comment down below, subscribe to the YouTube bridge so you can help us reach out to more like-minded captains. But with that said, we will leave it on this note.
Live long and prosper.
I love Shittles. Just saying.